Hello there, I'm MountPain27 and this is Dean of Doom, the show where we give grades to classic and contemporary Doom wads. Why? Because ranking things is fun. Today's episode will be dedicated to Realm of Chaos 25th Anniversary Edition, a 1996 megawad created by the Macintosh Team, the very first made by Apple Doomers, and remastered by Cammy between 2021 and 2025. So more like 29th Anniversary Edition, but never mind. What does remastered mean, you ask? Suffice to say, Cammy qualifies as co-author on every map, he composed a 3-hour replacement soundtrack by himself, and he bundled everything together with custom sprites that were cordoned off in a separate wad back in '96. All of this with the Macintosh team's blessing, mind you, not to mention mentorship from TMT bigwig Steve Duff. I haven't done an exhaustive side-by-side comparison, but you can safely assume that Cammy is responsible for final combat calibration and some, but not all, of the prettier aesthetics in this wad. Being generally leery of both remasters and megawads in their late 20s, I didn't expect to get seduced by Rock 25, but it has been a long time since I met a map set with this much natural levity. If you're wondering why all the fuss about such a niche interest, well, you are a Dean of Doom viewer, aren't you? If you gave me a chance, then consider giving this a chance. Here's how the show works. Every map gets one grade for quality and one for difficulty. Quality grades go from A to F. Grade A levels are fun, memorable, visually distinctive, creative, and a fair challenge. We grade difficulty from X to E. X for extreme, E for easy, A through D in between. Remember that disagreeing is part of the fun, and at the end of the day, this show is about spreading the joy of Doom. So let's do so. The rules are, we play on ultraviolence and must pistol start each level. I need to play the wad twice before reviewing it. Saves are allowed, and we go for 100% kills in all levels, making exceptions when it's just not worth it. I played Rock 25 on Z Doom under Doom's strict compatibility. Now to the wad. Map 1, Drop Off. Your mission begins in some kind of server farm / storage facility covered in computer panel gray. The Walking Dead must have been forewarned because they're posted up and waiting for you. Touching the red key snaps the windows open for a 270-degree zombie ambush, and the blue key does the same with imps. To even the odds, make a running jump across the crates in the first room to reach the chain gun, and that'll also open a compartment with a berserk pack. There's also a cute little arrow made of tiny boxes that points to a secret blur sphere. The pentagram bridge building sequence is one of the 90s-est things I've ever seen in Doom. Satanism aside, it's pretty adorable. Drop Off is a fine opener. I could see myself treasuring it as I do system control if I had grown up with it, but the real reason I'm playing this wad, the reason why I'm padding out this very review, is to give the soundtrack time to shine. Dawn Riot makes a childlike grin break out on my face every single time I hear it, and when that crazy synth solo takes flight, At Doom's Gate, Hidden Anger, Hate Machine, Dawn Riot. Grade B, difficulty E. Map 2, Outpost 27. I like that number. That's a good number for an outpost. This humble base is enjoyed like any other donut, one bite at a time. Interact with this wall to get a bit of fresh air under the strawberry sky, and snuff a pair of Hell Knights for a blue suit of TMT mail, which shouldn't even halfway wear out for the rest of the map. It's mostly shotgun fodder behind each door, but there's another Hell Knight somewhere, and one poor spider wriggling around outside. That's Arachnotron abuse, Cammy. Build the path forward one switch at a time and punch your ticket. Grade C-, difficulty D-. Map 3, Mars Base Alpha. The Super Shotty's debut necessitates some meteor crowds to chop through, but this map's feistiness surprised me. There's a pair of captive barons in the lab nearby, this pitfall awakens a grumbling Mancubus, and the scene of butchery at the red key is quite overwhelming. Nice cleaver, but wait till you see what I can do with 2 barrels of buckshot. The Hell Knights on the ring platform almost got me, but I managed to patch up by finding a soul sphere with a 21st century switch. The secret pancake maker on button is another modern quality of life improvement I won't decline. Grade B, difficulty D+. Map 4, Sewers. Pure whiplash. Between Jim Bagro changing themes in every room and all the cocaine Cammy fed his monster roster, Sewers is Rock 25's wake-up call. After threading through a crossfire of cacos, chain gunners, barons, and revenants, drop into a dark slime pit monitored by arachno turrets and fumble for the rocket launcher. That is, if you haven't already discovered the first plasma rifle of the wad, which comes fully loaded. Hold off on calling this tightrope megasphere overkill before you see the rest of the map. There are at least 2 certified shockers here. The sudden appearance of Hell, which holds the red key, and what waits behind the red door. My exact words were, "Holy f***ing what?" Cammy's monster placement may be audacious, but no more so than Bagro's duct taping of plutonian sludge to brownstone TNT habitats. The two battles in Gatorade Falls are the best examples of Cammy's combat serving the setting. The lock-in Kako fight gives you the perfect handicap of less mobility and a higher risk weapon choice, and the Arachno ambush at the end once again leverages the space's limits to make it interesting. Harebrained as the layout is, I'm disinclined to criticize it, because it's born from the same source as the weirdness I like. Grade B-, difficulty B-. Map 5, Mission Control. Hey, shotgunners. You'd be surprised how much of this map wasn't tweaked. The opening shot is original, and so is the spider mastermind guarding the exit, so props to Cammy for keeping the wild and wooliness intact. Using the hub elevator, you can chart your own path to the 3 keys. Twice I've tried to attack the floors in ascending order and been gored by the blue key area. The shootable switch ambush with the Kakos, Revenants, and Pain Elemental is pretty vicious, and right after that you'll get caught in a bear trap of pop-up Mancubi and a teleports behind you spider. There's a reason this cam midi shreds so hard. Mission Control does not mess around. I don't love that the arrows are becoming more of a motif at this point than an occasional crutch, but I suppose the blue on blue doesn't look half bad, and Pestov's layout is the most intricate in the WAD so far. Grade B, difficulty B. Map 6, Splatterhouse. Steve Duff. Now there's a name I love to see. He's just as well known for his bloodthirstiness as his infectious enthusiasm on the forums, so I'm sure he'll cheer if and when he finds out that Splatterhouse was the first Rock 25 map to kill me twice. Tantalized by the BFG right outside the first room, your opening minutes in this shadowy stronghold will be bitterly fought for. This misaligned wall opens a shortcut between wings and reveals a secret super shoddy, but extricating it is almost more trouble than it's worth. Soaked in slime and shot up with slugs as you are, keep the faith, because the worm is about to turn. It's tough to hear with the music volume cracked, but a walk line opens a switch in this hallway. Shoot it to unlock a plasma rifle and secret blue totem. Cut a path to the red key and open this closet to initiate a secret super combo. Computer map, rockets, megasphere, BFG, oh, hello. The map is essentially over now, but there are still plenty of targets to test your hardware on, and the final setup is fiendish, pinning you in a well-staffed control room with poison floor. The Splatterhouse rules. Grade A-, difficulty B. Map 7, Death Stay. Strange, stilted, and contractually obligated to dead simple, Death Stay links a few arena fights together with ultra-thin corridors and calls it a day. Sure, the Mankaboom is fun, but the cage fight does nothing for me. The surreal blue key stare would have been unpleasant without the secret trifecta of backpack, soul sphere, and rocket launcher, and the last squeeze before the rooftop shootout is something you'd never see in a map made today. Doc Bob has a knack for the abstract, but he does better work later. Grade D+, difficulty C+. Map 8, Research Lab. Here it is, the MIDI that convinced me to play Realm of Chaos. Deep Alone. I heard it first in another map we'll talk about later in the season, so for now let's just say Research Lab gets a significant boost from its soundtrack. It's not a novel layout. The Tricks and Traps hub facilitates a linear key hunt, and this time Pestov's elevator does not give the player freedom of choice. I interpret some of the more mechanical progression as symptomatic of 1. The lab's security protocols, as in the latest stair and bridge building sequence and the primitive game of Portal by the red key, and 2. Future tech eccentricities. Apparently, science is hard at work eliminating the need for stairs with teleportation technology. I guess some people would rather have every atom in their body copied and the old version destroyed than lift their feet. For what it's worth, this sequence builds tension to the ensuing flurry nicely. Pestov's generosity with secrets down the stretch should be a hint of what's to come. This elevator ride is another nod to Sandy Peterson, but the real mayhem starts at the top. If you didn't find the secret plasma, you'll need to lean more heavily on infighting than I did. Research Lab's well-defined location and immersive music make it one of Rock 25's early highlights. Grade B+, difficulty B. Map 9, Machine Gun Etiquette. If this map was as good as its title, I'd be surprised, because it's a goddamn great title. Propelled by a breathless Cammy tune, Machine Gun Etiquette is a bloodbath, but this time Steve D's lighting and detailing feel neglected. Lots of rooms lit flat and bright and wallpapered a single texture. Not to mention, there are some pretty glaring non-sequiturs in the set design. Why the heck is this checkerboard realm stapled to a bronze slime base? And what is going on in the yellow key corridor? You have a yellow door, behind a yellow door, then a helping of rocket food, an archvile on the cliff, and an ambush Cammy could not possibly have altered. A dozen SS and a Baron pop out of a wall, and 2 pain elementals and 3 Kakos bleed from the scrolling flesh. Gene Bird isn't quite this zany, but he definitely could have drawn this map. Come to think of it, I'd probably be a lot more fond of Gene Bird if he had Cammy composing for him. For all its warts and weirdness, Machine Gun Etiquette keeps me in a good mood, and I do like the Megasphere side quest in the Slime Fort. Grade C-, difficulty B. Map 10, Hollow Oblivion. Given all the manic energy of a Saturday morning cartoon by Cammy's MIDI, Hollow Oblivion makes up for in zip what it lacks in square footage. Secure the area, nab the red key, and get ready for some pinky punch-out. I like how the walls time the waves mechanically, and also open up more space for you to float like a butterfly. Now all that's left to do is take a 70 damage Revenant missile to the face, gather up rockets and a launcher, and get ready for a scorching piano solo. And some arch files. Credit where it's due, the Pinky Gantlet and the Vile Rush were both Cammy's ideas. The latter turned forgettable filler into a boss stage. Grade B, difficulty C+. Map 11, Mars Starport. This irrepressible charmer closes the episode on a high note. From check-in to takeoff, it's non-stop fun. Of all its lovable low-poly Doom cute, I like the luggage conveyor the best, because it doesn't give a damn that the floor is not moving or that one side is scrolling the wrong way. Mowing down the air traffic control tower is one of the chain gun's finest moments yet, but if you're more observant than me, you can raid a secret armory, hop outside for some extra warheads, and do the job even faster. Again, Cammy's MIDI is the tonal anchor of this whole thing. My favorite part of this track, called Sharks Are Different, is when it starts an entirely new groove mid-flow, and it's just as good as the first one. Cammy, you're different. Grade A-, difficulty B-. Map 12, Home Sweet Home. I sense sarcasm. We've landed on a beach at the end of the world, and the base before us is much too quiet. These undead converts might once have been our friends. So it goes. Home Sweet Home sports the highest kill count in the megawads so far, but that's deceptive, because the action is sporadic and mostly straightforward. The ambient, effects-driven MIDI articulates the shift from shootout to scope out, and amplifies the silence that descends after Fowler busts out the big guns. The ambush outside the computer room and this zombie conjuring are completely manageable, but the ending is less so. 3 Instapop arch files will scare you back into a firing squad and a throng of imps, but with quick feet and quicker thinking, you can fly the coop and bury them all with the rockets they left for you. I like the evolution flavors in this one. The grass, green base texture, and simmering dread evoke TNT maps 3 and 10. Grade B-, difficulty C+. Map 13, Bloodlands. This is the exact moment that Rock 25 becomes Hell Revealed. That's only a slight exaggeration and not quite an insult. The Hell Revealed mentality, grossly simplified, is go big or go home, have as much ammo as you want, and aesthetics. What's that? Cammy rehabs a butt-ugly canyon with a massive firefight, ladles Jibs to be around the outpost, dropping 2 arch files on him for good measure, and sets aside a torrential secret fight for good listeners. As enjoyable as Cammy's rewrites often are, I'm just as much here for the campy old shit. The Macubi turning on the lights before they attack you is glorious 90s novelty, the maze sections are pure rigor mortis, and there's no way the ending isn't a Doc Bob original. 3 chain gunners attack you in a room full of voodoo dolls, and they were even more effective against me since my Z-Doom guy is red. The best part is you can just back out of the room and not deal with the fight as designed at all. Bloodlands has B-movie appeal, so we'll give it a B for quality and difficulty. Map 14, Die Hard. In this harsh and ashy start, gunners hold the hill to the left and pinkies are on their way, but 3 Hell Knights and a Revenant guard the crevice to the right. The butte between them is covered in hit scanners, and if you cut them down fast enough, you can raise a bridge to the stockpile on the ledge. After the rather monochrome opening, the softly strobe-lit war room jumped out at me, and later, when I got the red key from the storage area, an arch file also jumped out at me. The blue goodies he leaves behind should make you worry. It's either this ductwork crawl or the last 2 rooms that earn Die Hard its title. Cammy gives you 2 obvious hints, so don't miss the BFG behind the pipes and hold on to your hat. I have to thumbs down this game of poison checkers because it's a nuisance, but the swimming pool slaughterfest is magnificent. Just keep slamming buttons and stay healthy until the fray reaches fever pitch, then pull out the big gun and yell cannonball! Having to squash the spiders by rote harms, but does not kill my buzz. Grade B+, difficulty B+. Map 15, Infestation. I want to do something different with this review. Infestation is hugely significant to Rock 25. It has the highest monster count by a lot and Cammy's longest, most operatic accompaniment. It was at this point in my first playthrough that I couldn't contain my curiosity any longer. Is Realm of Chaos a diamond in the rough, or is all of this just Cammy? So I played Rob Berkowitz's original Map 15, and I got my answer. I already knew I liked Cammy's soundtrack enough to stick through a megawad for it, but playing Infestation 1.0 suddenly opened my eyes to its all-encompassing effect on Rock 25. The thing is, Doc Bob's work is almost all present here. Sure, the lighting and texturing are slightly cruder, his demon crowd's definitely smaller, but the big metal cavern with the twisting stairs around it, every step of the cage fight, almost every line of the toxic catwalk, even the paint elementals in the blue key room and the archvile ambush on the way out of the red. That's all Bob. Cammy embellishes here and there, but only to support Berkowitz's ideas. My question is, how can you see this and hear this and be moved to write this? The music is the lifeblood of Bob's vision for this map, the auditory incarnation of his ambition. It glimmers with mystery, slams like industry, and soars like his monolith. The immensity of imagination required to capture this map's soul must only be rivaled by the love required to see it with such reverence. Rock 25's Infestation is grim and abstract, explosive and enigmatic, but playing it as the Infestations threw this entire project into new relief for me. Grade A-, difficulty B. Footnote, by the way, the secret exit's right here. Map 31, The Mansion. Slava Pestov sets the thermostat to cozy in this quaint and secret-rich abode. The furnishings here are like doom-cute fossils. I think this is the minimum number of lines you need to draw a toilet, but I genuinely like the lava chandeliers and the bloody feast table, which will open a secret if you dance on it. Hazards-wise, keep a lookout for archviles and grumpy paint elementals. They're all grumpy. Despite its lack of hospitality, I can't be rebuffed by the mansion. Cammy's wistful score reminds me of Tristan Clark's Celtic stuff and sets the mood for wandering, which is good, because I did plenty of it on my way to map 32. These shells point the way to a yellow key in the bathroom mirror, and from the exit you can barely see the yellow trim on this corner. Grade B, difficulty C. Map 32, Nowhere to Hide. This arcade power trip is only a tiny bit more complicated than it looks. Your first impulse, of course, will be to jump into the fray elbow deep with BFG blazing, but don't be so hasty. Borrowing a page from the Hell Revealed playbook once again, Cammy gives you just one megasphere and a full pack of shells, cells, and rockets. If you want a bigger allowance, cut down every dangling spaceman you see. When the exit bars raise, you done good. The faster you kill the Keens, the sooner you can invincibly cartwheel around the arena, flattening everything with blasts of blue. A jubilant camification, Nowhere to Hide is Rock 25 at its most cheerful and explosive. Grade A, difficulty B+. Map 33, Weapons Testing Area. As it happens, Steve Duff's Splatterhouse was not the original Map 6 in Realm of Chaos. Weapons Testing Area was deemed too similar to John Romero's military base to be id Games ready. It was jettisoned and largely forgotten about until Doom World user Andromeda produced a version of Realm Chaos.wad which contained the old Map 6. Cammy took this cue to definitively complete the Rock remaster, revamping Weapons Testing Area into a super secret challenge. From frame 1, this map is a fireworks show. Every room teems with fiends, archviles hide behind corners, Rammy players can propel themselves into some searing lock-in traps, and a highly mobile cyber demon will keep his patrol until you gather the guns and guts required to make a stand. Weapons Testing Area retains some E1M9 hallmarks, but under the hood this is close to 100% Cammy. Who else would think of this arachnid crossfire where the small ones get Kasali immortality, or this vicious pinch between two archviles and three paint elementals? What madman would have placed this final act in a map 6? A throng of pinkies, two cyber demons, a single rad suit, and two high-powered weapons to test drive. Remember, it's for science. This is the only essential Map 33 I know of. Grade A-, difficulty A-. Map 16, The Wolf's Hour. Not a single moment wasted. The Wolf's Hour opens with deathmatch aggression, skewers you with bruisers and spiders when you step inside this meat locker, and launches 3 archviles at you when you try to leave. It's never just 1 or 2 with you, is it, Cammy? The plasma rifle will feel like a phantom limb as you cleave through sewer rats and spelunkers. You're bulging with cells you can't use and it's driving you nuts, but good things come to those who wait. The Wolf's Hour goes from good to great when it cashes in on your delayed gratification. Grade A-, difficulty C+. Oh, and by the way, this MIDI is called Scoliosism and Other Twisted Beliefs. Shakespeare. Map 17, No Escape. That's quite a presumptuous title. This small and unassuming super shotgun course doesn't pique my interest except for one sequence that I thought Cammy invented. The run section is full of zombies in the original, but Chan gets credit for the one part of No Escape I remember. All of the action is right in front of you, goes down easy, and with a little digging you can make it go down even easier. The small switch in the cave area unlocks light amp goggles which you can take back into the dark tunnel to find a megasphere. And there's another tiny switch in the crook of the spiral hallway's last curve that opens a BFG. With those two items you can put Cyber Cerberus to sleep without a peep. Grade C, difficulty C+. Map 18, Dead Radio. Loaded up with almost 600 foes and bopping along to a dance groove that Speed of Doom era Stewboy could have penned, Dead Radio is a triumphant sci-fi slugfest. Everything about this map feels miles ahead of its peers. The texturing is clean, sleek, consistent, and the flashing, pulsing, scrolling lights dynamize every room they're used in. There's a musical flow to the escalation and de-escalation, movement, reprise, and crescendo. There's time for exploration and there's time for all-out war. Maps made today are all but expected to have mastered this balance, but it's rare to find a lengthy layout from 1996 that maintains momentum so well. Cammy's job here is to make shit splode. The blue key compactor clash fills with slime when the fight starts, freeing heaps of Hell Knights and 2 cyber demons for which these crushers come in handy. Try to slip past the imps and up the stairs and you'll knock heads with a bucket of bones. I dislike the vile triplet that taps you on the shoulder when you hit the blue switch, because the rest of the map is above such gotchas. Fleeing the red key vault from Emperor Spider-Mom precipitates this familiar room spilling its guts. It's like going toe-to-toe with the entire crew of the Death Star. The grand finale proves I wasn't barking up the wrong tree with my Speed of Doom inference. Darkwave would approve of both the Slime Dome setting and the multi-part BFG reaping. Cammy even throws in some vile pain. TMT sends their regards at the yellow key, and with that, Dead Radio ends its transmission. Grade A, difficulty A-. Map 19, Port Fury. You're only going to remember one part of Port Fury, but it floats the whole map and then some. The build-up is mostly about transitioning from science fiction to nautical fiction. It's shadowy and sticklerish with health, so watch your back on the way to the yellow key and beware the archvile lurking in the control room. Fight through the brown brick waiting area, count your rockets, and ready the cannons. This titanic battle lights up the screen like a Michael Bay movie. For this Demon Navy, the date is December 7th. It's a thunderous demolition of fire-flinging cooks, turret gunners, vile quartermasters, and countless swabbies set to a swaggering shanty. Not even the Cyber Demon figurehead escapes the keel haul. Board the vessel, take out Captain Pink and his matey, and you can open a warehouse guarded by SS, which seem meant to approximate former human sailors. Brave the furnace and crusher cage for a red key and BFG, step outside, and find out why Steve D's Doom World rank is Kako Swarms Are Us. I'm not in love with Port Fury's supporting structure, but all you really need to make a map is one great idea. Grade B+, difficulty B+. Map 20, Teleporter Central. At the intersection of combat centrism and structural experimentation sits Teleporter Central. On one hand, the map is about deciphering the decision tree of its 6 portals, which drop you into one of 2 starting points in 3 disconnected areas. On the other, Teleporter Central has a few blistering fights that the wrong approach will aggravate. You could start the yellow zone on the ground, or clear the perimeter first, lower the key, and polish off the pavilion ambush in one fell swoop. The wrong teleporters to zones red and blue lead to dead ends, so it's easier to tell which way to go, but the red zone especially does not caution tape the way forward. You missed the cells in the secondary area before raising the walkway. Now you have 4 archviles to deal with. What do you do? Die, I suppose. There's a shootable switch secret in the yellow zone which appears to do a whole lot of nothing, but wait till you get to the last quadrant. Normally these pillars start to disappear one by one until you've got nowhere to hide, but the secret makes them permanent. It's fitting that such an odd map should end with 4 fatzos pouncing on and capturing you even though they have no hands. Grade B-, difficulty B. Map 21, The Prison. Jailbreaks in Doom are usually pretty lame. The demons tend to leave their lowliest guarding Doom guy, and supplies are laid all over the place. Within seconds, it's like you were never imprisoned at all. That's why I like this map so much. Doc Bob locks you up deep in the dungeon, with caged cyber demons keeping watch, an archvile captain right around the corner, and no weapons until you slip around the Mancubus and his correctional pigs. The super shotgun's trapdoored, and the rocket launcher is only laying here because the demons killed each other trying to decide who should clean up the mess. If you squeeze through the escape tunnel and wrench the yellow key from the Panopticon, the cybers get crushed, and all you have to do is ride out the gate. Then again, maybe that's easier said than done. The fleshy bridge compactors were Cammy's idea, further beautifying a bloodbath that evolves on Bob considerably. Grade A-, difficulty B. Map 22, Nova Acropola. Perhaps an ignoble distinction, but these are officially the scuzziest urinals I've seen in Doom. Apparently we're still in Hell's prison system. The first half of this infernal stronghold is barred up and monitored by guards and towers. Inside the big red building is a healthy rocket fight and a keep bristling with sniper revenants and Macubi. I enjoy the initial tumult, but ridding the area of distractions is pretty annoying. Either a red or yellow key will open the keep, but you'll want to complete both storylines before the razzle-dazzle finish. The marble fortress is a mess of rockets and a megasphere you can probably keep most of. The red key path leads to a BFG, more Schustaffel, and a nested secret plasma rifle, whose whimsical punctuation hints at how to get the secret invulnerability, which I still managed to miss in this recording. Without it, the two-part blue key bonanza must be born with teeth clenched. I don't connect with Nova Acropola as much as Steve's other work. It starts slow and gets bogged down in the middle, but at least it finishes strong. Grade B-, difficulty B. Map 23, Ancalagon. With enough sprawl and secret treasure to be its own D&D campaign, Ancalagon is Steve D's longest and densest map in the set. The hardest part is getting started. I got more pistol kills here than in map 1, and some of these traps will take pelts off the unprepared. You get quite a few from me, Steve. As is typical of Hell, the environment is grotesque and hostile. Lots of tight squeezes, unapologetic lava, even the gore parts for sharpshooters to spot you. Archmages are lurking all over the place and spearhead the red key tripwire. It's never just one or two with you, is it, Cammy? Luckily, Dungeon Master Steve left 7 secrets to fill your coffers. Spot the red schmutz trimming this wall, and a fire blue cave containing a computer map will be revealed. You can use that to dig up 4 other secrets, but the 2 most valuable items can only be unlocked with keen eyes and a sidearm. Knowing Cammy and Steve, I didn't want to face Ancalagon's fire breath without a BFG, but I did not expect the whole goddamn room to open up at once. It's a bit long-winded for my liking, but Ancalagon is a solid retro adventure and goes out with a roar. Grade B, difficulty B+. Map 24, Burnt Guts. Now that's honest advertising. We got guts, and they're burnt. Pestoff's fire rivers and intestinals snake through some distant relative of thy flesh consumed, judging by all the wood, green marble, and barrens. If you don't take an immediate right and do try to plink every pink ungulate in sight, you'll probably think this is some kind of resource starvation map. Get the super shotgun and leave the barrens alone for now. Burnt Guts is a bit rote without self-imposed limits, but it does have one banner moment. Drop down the strobing chute for a glimpse of Shangri-La. When I hear Realm of Chaos, this is the kind of thing I picture. Unfortunately, Pestoff allows the madness to quickly subside, but the handy hidden switch behind the bramble puts a nice bow on things. Grade C+, difficulty B-. Map 25, Castle of the Hell Knights. Go Anthony Chan. I was about to make a quip about Cammy stealing from TNT Revolution, but nope. Back in 1996, Anthony Chan gave the Icon of Sin a working jaw. Hell yeah. I'm not sure how the HKs managed to get this castle named after them. It's not even a castle so much as a tiny Doom remake of Osmosis Jones. Walking around prettily lit entrails, I get the feeling that Cammy really tried to give this a makeover, but the final fight goes a bit overboard. It just doesn't make sense for such a dinky layout to wrap with such flamboyance. Cammy's tune-ups rarely fail to gel with TMT's work, but this is one such instance. In any case, the fun of smushing barons is evergreen, and at least we got that image of the icon opening wide. Grade C, difficulty B. Map 26, Above and Below. This is what the term combat puzzle was invented for. Above and Below will polarize the audience. If you don't like rigid or old-fashioned stuff, you're already out. But even if you do, this map has a streak which you could call mean or impish depending on the mood you're in. This is Realm of Chaos's Omega bridge building sequence. Shoot anything between you and the next skull switch and follow the path to the exit. Sounds simple enough, but that's only above. Dodging fireballs from imps, hell knights, and nosy cacos on 64 wide bridges might get you thinking the grass is greener down there. Maybe you just fell. One way or another, you'll have to visit below, where pinkies, specters, barons, and chain gunners patrol. Stumbling into rooms you haven't visited yet can complicate things, especially if you rouse the vertically unbounded, but plumbing the lower vantage purchases you more space to move around and lets you take care of some threats early. Dr. Bob forbids armor or recreational rocket use, so unless you find the bonus closets, you'll have to treat your good ammo like toll fare. Truth be told, all of this is rather stiff as Doom gameplay, but there is a Rubik's Cube-like appeal to it. The only inarguable annoyances are the point-blank ambushes, especially this archvile, and the key errands, which only exist to pull you downstairs. I liked this map more on replay, but even then my enjoyment was academic. Grade C-, difficulty B+. Map 27, Venom. Steve Duff's last ride is a slow burner, so named for its snakebite ambushes and serpentine progression. Venom is an exercise in predatory patience set to an effects-heavy MIDI that will make your teeth wince. It takes a few minutes for the floor to collapse from under you, but collapse it will. Behind the red door, the toxicity spikes as Venom hands you a rocket launcher and plasma rifle for a drawbridge assault, then hits you with another pitfall inside. With 2 spider masterminds waiting in the wings, this flame-draped pyramid climb must be won with either brute force or misdirection. If you track to the sound of the secret door in the blood tunnels, you know which one you'll choose. The most memorable moment comes right at the end. You better have found a BFG, kiddo, because Steve and Cammy saved the Black Mamba strike for last. Fight to the Megasphere, swat the Caco Swarm, and kiss the Spider Twins goodnight. That's one hell of a mic drop. Grade B+, difficulty B+. Map 28, Fortress of Death. This disappointing Pest-Off send-off appears inspired by the abandoned mines, but it has none of Romero's gift for secrets and branching progression. Fortress of Death would be a cheesy name in any era of Doom mapping, and it's neither hard enough to be fitting, nor fun enough to be campy. It's stolid, constricted, and leaves a very light print on your memory. Slava Pestov sure loved his elevators. His earlier maps at least made them unobtrusive, but regular lifts could substitute for most of these. Cammy tries to rev the map with a galloping MIDI and a triple cyber boss fight, but both of them feel incongruous. Some 90s clunkers you must let be. Grade D, difficulty B. Map 29, The Fountain. I'll never know for sure, but it seems to me that the original authors are the cutters of Rock 25's maps, and Cammy is the cookie. Rob Berkowitz is the exception. Maybe he's Cammy's favorite, and his particularities more preserved as such, but I think it's just as likely that he had TMT's best aptitude for stirring the imagination. The Fountain submerges you in darkness so thick you can barely see the gun in front of you and processes from scene to ominous scene. A red hell key on a pentagram pedestal, a plasma rifle at the end of a tunnel, a strangely empty marble chamber with 4 blank rooms and 4 skull switches. This time the repetition isn't needless. It's for confirming, yes, I am sure that I want to unlock something horrible. The blue key battle is one of Rock 25's finest moments, a black magic show of terrors and snares that takes a strong mind to survive. Through the blue door, we are warned of the danger to come by a creature making rinds of imps with its rictus. If you're not one of the worthy, this will also be your fate. Disturbing the last key initiates a double-barreled surprise, a gotcha redux, and 5 more cyber demons behind them. The spider hasn't got a chance, and without the BFG, neither do you. In Doc Bob's original, most of the map's cyber demons were off-screen, used for ambience to make the player feel unwelcome, but Cammy makes the dread real, fulfills a prophecy, if you will. It might be worth playing through both Realm of Chaos and Rock 25 solely to experience the dialogue between the old hands and one talented fan, but for me, this is enough. The Fountain generates goosebumps like no map in this set. You couldn't ask for a better penultimate. Grade A, difficulty A-. Map 30, Apocalypse. All this time, we've been hacking a path to the throne room of Hell's 4 lords, or more accurately, one 4-faced demon cube. Ride up 3 elevators, to the left, right, and across from where you started, and then hit 3 switches, which open towers with views of the demon spitters' foreheads. Plant rockets in their frontal lobes and the last tower will open, which allows you to finally deliver a death blow. Straightforward as this scenario is, there must be a lot more going on behind the scenes to segment the final boss's health bar and contingently unlock the final perch. It's very impressive. Apocalypse is an unobtrusive icon of sin, but it screams across the finish line on the back of one last excoriating Cammy. Grade B-, difficulty C-. So, Mac users are people too. I would never have known or cared about Realm of Chaos if its remake didn't exist, but it turns out that I don't even care as much about the remake as the force that brought it into being. This project is full of qualities I love. Creativity, obsessive drive and dedication, but above all, a desire to share love and gratitude. Rock 25 is Cammy saying to TMT, "This is how I see what you made." To me, the fun rides sidecar to the power of that message, but I clicked with Realm of Chaos Remastered right from the start. Playing Rock 25 felt like rediscovering a megawad I forgot I played as a kid, except with the benefit of sprightly, modernized combat and a priceless soundtrack. Cammy's compositional versatility and spark are off the charts. His is the only megawad I downloaded just for the music, but I'm pleased to report that Rock 25 is worth much more than its soundtrack alone. My final grade for Realm of Chaos 25th Anniversary Edition is a B. Difficulty-wise, this is the most approachable WAD I've covered in a long long time, rounding out to a B-. As hectic as some of these maps may look, Rock 25 is much shorter and more generous than most WADs you'll see post-2020. Now for my Dean's List. Valedictorian, Map 29, The Fountain. Salutatorian, Map 18, Dead Radio. Class President, Map 33, Weapons Testing Area. And the dunce cap goes to Map 28, Fortress of Death. Thank you very much for watching. Now I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons. Aaron Allen, Agile Jackson, Agu XYZ, Alephany, Alexander Levine, Alpha Skeeter, Artisan Talzar, Beatbeard, Birdburn, Blexor, Bochnik Schleba, Bitefire, Kappa-Bitch, Captain Wave, Charlie Pryor, Cheese Wheel, Chloe584, Christophine Place, Daria Romero, Dark Matter 2793, Deefers, Delirium, El Inferno, Emperor Spoon, Endless Moose, Francis T218, Galaquack, General Roasterrock, Goth Ishigo, Gothic Box, Griffin Upchurch, Harvey Funbucks, Henner's Lenners, Hex Elix, Hot Tomato, Ian Hunter, Idiot Supreme, Jeff Hibbert, Jeremy Francouz, Jimmy Paddock, Jude, Just Some Schmuck, Just Great 98, Killplane, Quan, Large Cat, Lexi Max, Logan Lazalda, Lord Biscuit the Tossable, Lumnal, Livin' Dead, Mamatic, Mark Rowland, Mars, Master Drew 117, Matthew Gower, Matthew Widhaha, McJimbles, Michael Akins, Michael Jensen, Midget Eminem, Mike Merrick, Mikey Gutierrez, Miracle Water, Mixer, Moloch Makane, Mozicon, Mullywiz, Neurometry, Nick XCOM, Knights 108, Number 26, Not Obelisk, Novaseer, NX Avery, Omnibot, One True Purple, Pezaveng Jaj, Philip Coffee, Foo, Ravendesk, Razmataz, Red Doomed Earth, Reese, Reese Anderson, Richter Berg, Roy, Salt Bad Guy, Saf the Coffee Witch, Scoobly, Sean Grant, Snacker Fork, Star Cannon 399, Stonemason, Strongest Fairy, Stupid Nick, Sylvester Priss, Tamariel, Tara Kushino, Tavio, Terry J. Pendragon, The Lippy Server, The Refined Odyssey, TJG1289, Turbine 2K5, Two-Time Grind, Velenex, Video Game Lover, Vonehead, Wandering Autumn Leaves, Why Bimo Not a Crab, William Huber, and YukiBoy85. Thank you. I appreciate you all very much. This is Mount Pain 27, and I'll see you in the next episode of Dean of Doom.